All right, guys. You guys already know me. But my name is Mayuri. I'm the founder of True Client Pro. I am a longtime florist like you guys. I always say beautiful weddings don't just happen. So, but we make it as they do. And we're just going to jump into today's topic and talk about how the automation is going to make your business run smooth, save you time, and increase efficiency. All right. So you already know all these things. So we're going to specifically talk about automation because we know that we do repeated tasks, and what we want to do is make your life easier. If you're already using the software, you're probably not utilizing all the features, and we want you to get the most out of everything that we have. So let's dive into each item one at a time. So number one, we're going to talk about emails. This is number one time killer for everybody. I don't care who you are. I mean, I do it also sometimes, even in my own work. And I'm like, just constantly like editing sentences and what have you. But the truth of the matter is that we tend to write similar brand message all the times. So first, what you want to do is you want to identify and map out all the emails that you frequently compose, right? So I'll give you a few examples, top of my head. When an inquiry comes in, you're going to compose a message to the potential lead saying, a message. Well, why can't you just look at your 5 past or 10 past emails, what you've written, just go to your email box, go to the send, and just look at that. Once you look at it, identify what it is that you say, and then we are going to actually use ChatGPT, just grab all those emails and say, hey, this is what I've sent to my past 10 clients. Can you tell me what should be my neutral template? Let the ChatGPT give you a few options and then just tweak that and then use that as your default template. That's going to save you a lot of time. So you could do that for each one of them. So you'll have one for lead, then you have a lead follow-up. Then you have what I call is lead ghosting you email, like, hey, are we connecting or are we saying goodbye? Like, let's just do one on, just move on kind of thing, right? Then you could do the same thing with a proposal, or, like Angela and Sam, you guys have team members. So you can say, hey, instead of just telling her or texting her, what if you were to send her an email and asking her to do something? You would compose an email saying, hey, Sam, can you do blah, 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 whatever. So if there is a task and that is something that's associated with that inquiry or proposal, let's write that down. So identifying where the automation can be the most effective in your business, those repeated email actions will be so beneficial. So we want to actually go ahead and do that. What I would love to do is just take 2 minutes and see if you guys, number one, use any of those email automations, and how many emails do you identify yourself writing it again and again and again. So you could drop that in the chat, and if you don't know, just say, I don't know, I want to learn, and we can just help you out. And if you have a question at the end, just jump in and just say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Where can I automate those emails? And I'll give you Angela, you guys are our users, so you already have those emails built in. But anybody who's not our current user, what you can do is just go to your email box and compose those and leave them in draft. What does that mean? Leave them in draft, and I call the subject line to be my template. So what I do is I'll never send those emails out, and it does not go to anybody because I don't want to send my template out to anybody. What you do is you copy that and then you plug it into your new email to your new lead, and you tweak it and you send that out. It's the same thing, except we automate that process for you on True Client Pro. So this is called streamlining the process and improving also the customer experience. And recently, True Client Pro also has added editing these emails. So when the emails go out, we have about 78 emails that you are able to utilize again and again and again. So some of those emails are called edited editable emails where before they go out, you can edit the message, but you can still like reduce your work with a default email. So the benefits overall is going to be saving you time, reducing errors, and allowing time for creativity. Now, when I say reduce error, English is my second language. If you guys don't know, I'm sure you guys can pick up from my accent here or there. So I never learned English actually as written language. I've only learned it as a spoken language, and by default, I've learned it as written language, believe it or not. So I will still make errors, and my grammar is not perfect, and it's okay because I'm able to actually, write better emails, because I have default templates. So just a little just a little fact on the side. All right, so any questions on emails, you guys? If not, I'll move on to the next slide. Okay. So I don't think we have any questions, so we'll move on to the next one, which is the daily task. This, for a florist and a planner, could be just, it's like a black hole. It just sucks, everything in it. So understanding which day of the week what you do. Obviously, we know as a florist and planners, we tend to have our email responses on Monday, or some of us are out on Monday. Tuesdays when we check our emails. And if you guys are not identifying your task blocks, please, 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 I ask you to do so. Now, someone's saying they keep losing me. So are you not understanding me, or are you losing the connection? Just let us know that. So we'll see if we can identify that. What I mean is that time blocks. So Tuesday is a day to send out an email. Don't be in your email box every single day, guys. It is not productive. Just say on Tuesday, I'll do my email box from 10 to 11, or I will do my email from 4 to 5 before the end of the day. So this way you're actually able to do more productive tasks. Then you can say Tuesday is my pull day. What does that mean for florists? It's like getting your inventories, right? Printing that pull list from your recipes. What do we need? Gather it. So those kinds of tasks you can automate on True Client Pro. All you have to do is go to the worksheet category, customizable field, and then you go to project tracking, and then you can say, ask me to do this task 3 days after or 5 days before, and you can choose the prompt. So for example, let's do before the day of the event, 30 days before the event, remind me to order flowers. Why do I need to keep that in my brain? I'm going to keep like beautiful memories of my family, or a book I read, or something else that's useful than like me trying to remember my daily task. We can absolutely go ahead and automate that. Now, how can you do this if you don't have True Client Pro? I will give you a hint. It will make your calendar a little cuckoo, but it does work. I have done it before True Client Pro came in. Okay, so what I used to do is if I have an event date, I would put down the event date on my calendar, Saturday, this event, and then use the Google location, what the name of the venue is. In the box, I would put down name of the staff members. Then I would have my team member back up the 30 days, and I would duplicate that event and say, change it now to order flowers. And then I would invite the team member who's responsible for it. Then I would back it up another 15 days and then say, start creating recipes. But guess what? It's just every single event, I had to schedule that. And like I said, it works, inviting people, and they, subscribe to my calendar, my staff, and all of that. But it's a lot of work. True Client Pro clearly makes it easy for you. So what that allows you to do is do more networking, more focus on sales, more focus on leads, more focusing on the task that generates money, right? So you want to think about that. Now, if you have a question, I would love to answer that. So please just unmute yourself, ask me, or we'll go to the next slide. Okay. All right. Leveraging leads, proposal, and contract. I already touched on it with the email automation, but I am going to go a little bit more in this. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because we don't usually end with one email. There is follow-up emails that we do, right? So you should have email number 1, 2, and 3. each one should have a unique message that kind of builds on one message to the second message to the third message. And to do that, you need to just like literally sit down, no distractions, turn off your phone, turn off everything, notifications. If you have an Apple Watch, I tend to like take my watch off because it constantly goes ping, 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 right? Like even though you put it on certain modes. Sit down and look at the clients with your team member and say, what did we do? How did we respond to this? What did we say, right? Because that's going to be important. And did we respond 5 days after? Do we respond 10 days after? When do we follow up? Now, so typically when a lead comes in, you immediately want to respond. I don't know if you guys are aware of who Ellenberg is. Ellenberg is the guru in the wedding wire, the knot industry, who talks about the lead conversions. You know, his thing is 3 fields and then that's it. That's not what I've always done. That's one thing I disagree with him on. I've talked to him about it and he goes, what works for you is what works for you. But typically what you want to do is just capture that and then follow up. The person who responds the quickest closes the lead the fastest. What does that mean? Yes, True Client Pro will send an automatic email, and that email should sound personal. Those are emails that goes out automatically like that. Those are called clone emails. You do not edit those when they go out. So you want to think about using the tags or tokens. I don't know which language you guys are familiar with. That means in the email, in True Client Pro, if you say add the first name, it will automatically insert the client's first name. You could even say for your event, and I'll put down the name of the event. For your wedding date or event date, I'll put in that date. So it will already do a customization, which makes it very personable. And then you have your email signature and you have a message on the bottom. You can include your calendar link and all of that, which makes it easier. Now the follow-up email should we follow up 2 days after? Is it 3 days after? Is it 5 days after? In order for you guys to understand that, you need to do one more thing. You need to understand the pattern. What day of the week or in the month, which week do you get most of your leads? So if you are tracking your leads, when you got the inquiry by the date, you will understand that pattern. If you understand that pattern, then you know that most of them happens around the weekend. Then you should say, hey, we're out setting up an event, right? But if it's Monday, Tuesday, then you don't want to do that. So understanding your own business pattern is really important when it comes to lead capture and replying to inquiry, because it should really genuinely reflect your business. That's one thing. So in the follow-up, I don't know if you guys know Brandy. I never say her name correctly. Gear. She always says, never start with the email with a congratulations. And so she has her own techniques. Check her out. She's actually pretty cool. So I had my thing saying, hey, this is amazing. Thank you for your inquiry, blah, blah, blah. I'm familiar with the venue. I love the vision, and I'll describe the venue, and then I'll take their words from inquiry typically and just kind of reflect back in there in my second email or in my call, or on True Client Pro, you can use a chat, which is even more customizable, because it's literally a chat, which goes as an email, and that's where you get to customize further details. So you're able to absolutely do that. Now, that True Client Pro does a lot of things that, you typically need 5 softwares to do, but what it won't do is replace the human touch, just like the AI. AI is not going to replace your human touch. It does not mean that you should not pick up the phone and call that client when you get an inquiry. You should absolutely be calling that inquiry. I used to, when we got an inquiry, yes, automated went out, but that didn't mean that like my team member didn't get on the phone or I didn't get on the phone for 2 seconds and say, hey, this is Mayuri's Floral Design. We got your inquiry. Let us know. We would love to jump on a phone call. That one thing, it makes my conversion even higher. So just note that. So same thing will happen on the proposal. So ghosting happens at 3 levels. So what do I mean by ghosting? You never hear from the client. If you don't respond to them fast enough, they will go to the first vendor or the second vendor who responded to them the fastest. So same thing will happen. Proposal. Have a meeting. And if you send a proposal with the whole shebang, guess what? They're going shopping. You're not going to hear from them. So when you give proposal, definitely make it beautiful. Tell a story, but do not give pricing. Say, I want to schedule an appointment to review the proposal. And that does not need to be in person, in store, in studio. You could do it via Zoom. Just present your screen, right? Just kind of walk them through and tell them what the number is at the end. That's one way of doing it. Because if you give everything, they're not going to. It won't give you an opportunity to follow up on the proposal, the the storytelling or the vision board, whatever that you're proposing. You won't have a chance to follow up on that. And then the next ghosting happens at the contract level. They've gotten the proposal. Sometimes they get a sticker shock, and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't know if I want this." Or something happens, or they have to check in with their mom-in-law or mom or their fiance and figure out what the budget is. Something came up at work, or they're traveling. Multiple things can happen. Don't assume that they don't like you. Follow up. And Mayuri's Floral Design, I had this thing. Follow up till the wedding day passes. No joke. My team used to laugh at me till we converted 4 big weddings. These clients had actually booked weddings with other florists, and because we kept on following up, just congratulating them and giving them different tips, we had a different funnel for that from Mayuri's Floral Design. We actually ended up getting those massive weddings. I think total of that was about $70,000 between those 4 weddings. And the reason why we got it is because the other florists fell through. Nobody else had followed up or nurtured those. Therefore, they came to us because we were on their radar. So that was my thing. You don't have to do that. I'm just letting you know that, that's one way of getting additional business. So contract follow-up is super, super important because other factors happen. You want to follow up. You want to say, hey, did you have a chance to review that? Is there any term you want to go over? We offer venue walkthrough for X, Y, and Z price, or whatever it is that you do. Go ahead and continue to follow up. But on True Client Pro, each of these things that I said, it can create a workflow. So it'll automatically follow up to 3 different emails, and you can say 5 days later, 12 days later, 18 days later, whatever it is that you want to do. And then of course you can follow up manually within the system. So the benefits, obviously, you see, you get to respond right away, then you reduce your ghosting, and you get to customize the email, and your conversion is much, much higher. So if you have any questions or thoughts that you guys want to even share amongst each other, I would love to know. So drop it in the chat while I grab a sip of water. All right. No questions. All right. So the next one is project manager. Now this will not apply to everybody, but as you are building a team, or even if it's you and another designer and you take on more than one wedding a weekend, or even if you do every other weekend, you should consider using this feature in True Client Pro. Or if it's not, what I used to call it a clipboard wall. What it was is basically it's an empty wall, and I had tons of clipboards. Every wedding I had, I would print the proposal page because it had the client's name, the venue name, and the date. I would have that on the first page on the clipboard, and it went on my wall. So I would add who it belonged to, and we did that by using a different printing color paper. So we had 4 colors. Who was in lead in specific project? So pink, yellow, blue, and I think it was a neon green, I think. Yeah. So basically we knew which weddings belonged to who. So for example, Angela, you and Sam, instead of both of you being responsible for both events, what you can do is hey, she's taking a lead on this, I'm taking a lead. Add a person as a project manager. What that does is you get copied on all the emails, so you don't have to sort through every single email that comes to the main email box. This way they're sorted out. And that will make your life so much easier because not only the client knows who is in charge of communication, but the internal team also knows, and then you're able to further automate your task, right? So I think that is super important. Any questions on that, you guys? Okay. right. So the overall benefits of automation. So yes, we are going to be discussing all of these, but then I want to talk about something else at the end. So of course it saves time. It reduces, just redundancy in anything we do. And it keeps a record of every single communication that goes out, so you don't have to worry about that, right? It saves you a tremendous amount of money. Now, typically, when somebody uses our software with the automations in place, it's already there on our premium plan, it ends up saving them somewhere between 8 to 18 hours easily on some of those redundancy, in addition to like other things that we save you time on. So that is huge. So if you think about your hourly rate for an employee or staff member or team member, now take that by hourly rate, literally the software pays for itself. It's consistently reliable. And like all technology, yes, you are going to have bugs. We have bugs like every other system, but it is reliable. We have bugs, right? So, and follow-ups are very, very easy. And at least you're able to see and put them in different stages. So even if you did forget, you're able to go back and say, oh, where did I leave off? And you can see that. And everybody is on the same page. And another thing I want to just mention, and I learned this the hard way, obviously, because I learned this only because the life really brought it to me. When I wanted to step away from my floral business, when I was doing 80 to 100 events, and I did not want my team to text me, my client to text me, because I used to text them at one point, or call me, I was like, oh my God, what is this? Then I started texting my team member because they were sending me messages. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, if I don't want my clients to text me, why am I texting my team members on their day off? Because we live in a freelancing world. We shouldn't be doing that. So that's why one of the task automations and the team communication, assigning tasks, all of that prep list, pull list in True Client Pro is built because of that. Because I wanted my team to do their best, but not yet rely on me. And I wanted to respect their boundary, because the time I got when I was stepping away, taking care of my family, was at 10, 11 o'clock at night. I shouldn't be texting them. And at that time, we didn't have all these great functions on Apple phone. I use Apple phone, so iPhone. So it didn't have all these like, oh, turn on the notifications. It didn't have all of that back then. It used to ping every hour of the night, every email, So because of that, some of those functions are built in, and I think it really helps us create those beautiful boundaries. So, and it's all in one place. Each client has their own portal. Each staff member has their own portal. You as a business owner have your own portal. In addition to that, you can have different roles. So think about it like this. Me, I'm like, you can't be in my business all the time. Just because, you work for me and we work together, you're part of the team, doesn't mean you see my finances, or you can edit my recipe, or you can edit my inventory, right? Like, we don't want everyone to be doing it because everybody's not trained on it. We don't want them to mess things up. So we have different roles, up to 6 different roles. It's admin, manager, designer, lead staff, and staff. So staff can, I think they can only download the production report so they can restock and pull list and prep list. So each person has different things and has a lot of benefits because of that. All right, any questions, you guys? Awesome. Okay, so if you guys are not already on the plan, premium plan has everything that I just talked about. It is $175 a month, and obviously annual plan is $17.99. It's 150 projects, and then you save tremendous amount of money. And then we have Floral Basic Plan, which is $39 a month, and it's $239. It does not have a lot of the automations. We kind of give you a few automations on the inquiry, proposal, and contract, because we believe that you should have those functionality at such a low price. I mean, it's a steal. So it's a great place to start, but there's a lot of customization you won't be able to do, which you do on the premium plan. And if you're a planner, we do have a plan called Events. So it's only for the planner. You will not get recipe. You will not get the product. It is not the right product for the florist. If you're a florist and a planner, you should be on the premium. If you're just the planner, be on the events. And if you're just the florist and you want to start low, you should be on the florist basic plan. All right. Any questions? I would love to always stay connected, join our Facebook groups. I know I haven't been active. I'm going to do my best to come back